evening. Thank you to the library and the Women's Hall for inviting me today. Some of you have, I've spoken to some of you today who have been here since 10 o'clock. It's been a really interesting day. I have notes, I hate having notes, I do apologise, but we only have about 8 minutes to present and I could passionately talk about my business and bore you to tears for hours on end. So a few things I'm going to cover this evening, just a bit about what the business is, what our offering is, and the value we can bring to a business. The journey we've been on, it's been quite an interesting journey since February, but I will explain that in a moment. And some of the key learnings that, you know, I think if I'd have known at the beginning, it would have prepared me a little better. So there's some key learnings for me to pass on to you guys if you're in that stage of, I need to start my own business, I want to start my own business and haven't quite got there yet. It's always good to have a bit of a hindsight would be a word, and to move on. So yeah, so we're actually a marketing consultancy. We're based here in Liverpool, over in Crosby, and also over on the Isle of Man. I'm very lucky to have my dad, who's actually here, based in Liverpool, but also my mum lives in the Isle of Man. So I get to share my business across both locations, but as you'll come to see, what I offer, or what we offer as a business is very individual, but it could be anywhere in the country, so I'm not sort of beholden to, you can only use me if you are in Liverpool. As Cynthia said, I am really passionate about strategy, about branding, about planning, and with my background in the construction products industry, 5-metre lengths of white plastic are not the most glamorous things in the world. I love them, but they're not very glamorous. So a lot of my background has been about building a customer proposition that stands us out from the competition, because the competition pretty much sold exactly the same product. My lengths of white plastic are the same as the next person. So that's what I'm really, really passionate about. We provide quite an individual approach, so I tend to throw the marketing textbook out the window, sorry to anyone that's very marketing textbook, and really look at working with a business on that individual basis, understanding that you as an individual will have specific goals and needs, and your business will have specific goals and needs, and that's where we build our services to do that. So if we can get to the next one. So what is our offering? Apologies, that doesn't look as good as it did on my screen earlier. So I have two streams to the business. The first one, which is probably more appropriate for a lot of you guys in the room, is a very one-to-one service. So that comes back to that individual approach. So for SMEs, startup businesses, there's a sort of menu offering I have. So if you're looking for a health check, you've started, and you just need a sanity check to say, am I doing the right thing? It's not really where I want it to be. Give me a feel. Right through to, and these are my favourite clients, I have a blank piece of paper and I don't know where to start. And they're the ones that I really love, because then we can work right through on the whole analysis of the business, what the goal is, what the brand proposition is, the pricing strategy, all those things that everybody really hates doing, unless you like me and love it. What I am starting, if you noticed at the end, in October, I'm actually going to start some workshops where I'm going to try and bring some of those small and medium startup businesses together to actually take that one-to-one consultation, but actually have it in a workshop. So we work on me imparting a lot of my things that I discuss in one-to-one, and then opening it up so we can share and actually come away with action plans that businesses can go away. The second stream is what I call sort of core consultancy, which is where I'll work with larger businesses where they may be still looking to brand shift. So the business might have been built up on the person and their background, and they're actually looking to maybe step away, or they're looking to shift the business slightly, and that's where we will look at their branding, their customer proposition. Or where some businesses want some focus, so if they're working on a project, that's where we will go in and work to run that project so the day-to-day team can actually crack on with what they need to be doing, so the business doesn't lose their general focus, which is an exciting slide. What value do we bring? So as Cynthia said, Yeah, I've worked in the building plastics industry for 22 years, so you get the benefit of 22 years across customer service management, key account management and marketing, so you get that benefit as a business of a more broader approach than somebody that is just marketing, so I will look at things quite differently. You get the flexibility of the focus, as I said earlier, extra pair of hands when you need them. And I also say, as a business, we save you time and money because you don't have to employ us full time. Like Kath from St Annan's Chamber said this afternoon, employing people comes with all those exciting things like national insurance and pensions and everything. And actually you can bring me in 2 days a month as part of a flexible element to your team. Some clients are happy for us to work with them literally to bring in structure and plan and then leave, knowing that they can call on us at any time. And I have some clients where they actually have us on a retainer where we do a couple of days a month just to keep everything in check. So we come with that experience, we come with a vision, we come with lots of ideas. It's quite nice to have somebody that's not involved day to day in the business to make you to think. So our journey, apologies, really busy slide. The journey's been quite an interesting one. Back in February, the business that I had worked for 12 years, or a part of it, was actually sold, and I got the opportunity to take voluntary redundancy. So after 22 years in the corporate world, I went out and said, okay, it's not me, which was quite an interesting thing to do, bit of a challenge. But the great thing that happened was, a bit like a lot of people have said today, is I picked up with Invest Afton Monday morning. Hello, this is me, this is what I want to do. They said, we'll refer you to the Enterprise Hub, and you need to get out and network. So excuse me, I went over, got a business advisor with the Enterprise Hub called Huda. She is the best person. She was absolutely brilliant. And on day 3, I went networking, which is really funny when you go networking and people say, so how long have you been running your business? And you go, about 72 hours. It's fine. But what it did do right at the beginning was give me that opportunity to meet potential clients, do some market research, and also find people's pain points. So as I started to create my offering, I really could see those pain points that people have, the people that are overwhelmed by their marketing, they're completely in a fog, they have so many ideas, they don't know what to do. So it really gave me that opportunity. I did some training, so I was very busy in February. I started my International Coaching Academy training to bring coaching skills into my business. I did Ahead of the Curve training, and I also did all the business startup training that the Enterprise Hub had to offer. So it gave me a really good grounding. March was very similar, a lot about planning, a lot about really affirming my offering, and then April, which is in pinky red, was when I really started to go for it. So I launched the business, and you'll see on there I carried on training, I carried on networking, and I started my marketing. Figured I better had, as that's what I do. Although it is a challenge, and you will learn this as you start your own business. All the things that you do, it's a bit like being a builder. Your house is the last one to get finished. There's a tip. So in April I started to client build. I'd already done quite a lot of networking, so I already had people I could contact. And then it's just flowed from there. So now as we come August, September, I'm still client building because that's a continual process. I'm still training, I'm still networking. I have reduced my networking. If you live in Liverpool, you could network every day of the week, every morning, afternoon, evening, and get really fat eating canapes. So you have to, I think about May time, I sort of said, I really need to pull back and decide which networks are going to be really good for me, which are going to be beneficial, which ones are going to cost me lots of money, and where am I going to get a quick return. You'll see on there, August, September, I've looked at my offering, and that's where the workshops have come in, and that's one thing that I would advise that you always have to keep evolving. Your business will continually evolve, your product range will need to continually evolve to meet the needs of the market, and that's some continual process that I am on. So, the key learnings. Groundwork is key. Everyone, I think, has said that today, but what, my dad will be giggling now because he says this all the time to me, you have to sense check yourself, and if you've been in corporate world and you're in full-time employment and you come out of that, there is nobody saying, hey Sarah, that was a great project, hey Sarah, you've done a good job. You are the only person that's going to say that to you, but if you can feel like you've done your groundwork, you feel like you've ticked all the bases, you've covered everything, you've done your market research, and you really feel that you are on the right track, you can achieve something, you can feel like you've achieved something. So groundwork is key. Take the support that's available, and I love this, take the advice that's available, throw some of it in the trash, keep some of it, and create some of your own. It's really funny, because people will tell you, give you lots of advice, but a lot of the time, unless it's legalities and things like that, a lot of advice is from their perception, how they would do it. So you have to know what you're doing and actually say, that's lovely, but actually this is mine. I've had people change my content, tell me I shouldn't have testimonials on my website, and you then start to get in that conflict, oh, well, they said that, and actually what you need to do is take a lot of it, throw some of it away, and sort of make it your own. Train and continue to develop. What you learned 2 years ago, what you knew 2 years ago is now out of date and old, especially if you're in the digital market. Anything from April, as we found this morning, is probably out of date. So keep developing. Everything's going to take you a lot longer than you realise. Somebody said to me, everything takes three times as long and costs 3 times as much. I'm not so sure about the cost, but definitely don't underestimate how hard you have to work. It might look like you're very swan-like on the surface, but you're pedaling like a lunatic underneath. It isn't easy, but I have to say, I've had that entrepreneurial day in the life where you go, yes, this is awesome. Oh my goodness, what am I doing? I'm going to go bankrupt. This is going to be great. And it is hard work, and you have to motivate yourself, and you will experience all those emotions, as the ladies from Perfect Samosa said earlier, but it is so worth it. It is definitely worth it. But the key to knowing it's definitely worth it, and this is my last point, is do something you're passionate about. I have a few clients that I speak to, and they start to tell me what they're doing, and it's a trawl and it's an ache, and then you start to pick in what they're really passionate about, and then get them to look at it that way, and you can see them light up. It becomes fun then, they're excited about it. So I would say, you're going to start a business, that is the key. If you're passionate about it, it's definitely worth it.